Chodesh Tov, Boker Tov, Kal Kadosh, Masechet Yevamot Daf Tetvav Amud Aleph, 115a1. If you remember, we were talking about the entire concept of a woman that she went out of town with her husband, and all of a sudden she comes back by herself. So are we going to start suspecting foul play over here? As she comes and she says her husband's dead, we're going to start suspecting that maybe she spiked his drink, or maybe she did something, So here it says we're going to ask the following question. We're on the bottom of Kufi Daled Amud Bet. We're just going to start again that question just so we understand. What happens if right now, we didn't know that there was a milchama in the world? It means basically where the husband was, we didn't know there was a milchama. So what's halacha? Is she then allowed to come, and say that he died or not? Mi amrina, do we say mali l'shaker? What does she have to? Why is she going to come, and lie, and say that he died during the time of milchama? Why does she have to come and say it was during the time of milchama? Because she could have just said Shalom ba'olam. She could have just said it was normal. There was no wars. There was no nothing, and he just died. That's it. Why did she have to say that there was a war? Oziel, or maybe Kevan di Chaska, since at the end of the day there's a chazakah that there's a milchama in the world. So therefore, Amra be the damage. So therefore, we're going to say, you know what? Maybe she's just being meaning that she thinks that he died. And then we don't use mali l'shaker, and then the mali l'shaker is not going to be able to come and break the chashash of the didami. Okay, why? Because mali l'shaker is only just saying that why would the woman lie? But we're still going to suspect that maybe he didn't 100% die, and she's just saying, I saw them grabbing him, so now that's it. So now kilo, that's it. Okay? So Tashema, I'm going to try to bring a proof from the following writer. Ishnu alenu bait. What does that mean? We were inside of a house, That's what the woman is saying. They were inside of the house, her and her husband, and all of a sudden, the house started going up in fire. So there was a whole bunch of ashan, there was a whole bunch of smoke all around. Or Ishnu alenu me'ara. The me'ara became starting. They were inside of a cave, and all of a sudden it became full of smoke. Who met Panini Tzad? So now she comes and she says he died in the fire, and she was able to escape. And in a minute, she's not going to be believed. Why? Because just like we only know that there's a fire through her mouth, so therefore we could just say, 1 second, when it says Met Bali, we would accept it. It was Mali l'shaker. But still, we still say that we're going to suspect that she's suspecting it. Because she came out of the cave. She thought, that he died. And really, Be'emet, he came out from another exit. Or Be'emet, he came out, whether it's before her or after, and she didn't even realize. And she thinks that he died. So answer the Gemara, in that case, we're going to tell her, 1 second. If the entire thing went up in flames, how did you get out? No, a miracle happened. I was able to survive. So he said, 1 second, just like the miracle happened to you, it happened to your husband. You think it didn't happen to your husband as well. So Tashema, we're going to try to bring another proof there. Naflu alenu nochrim, naflu alenu nistim. Who met panim nitzalti. Imagine she comes to the Bedin and she says that there was goyim that fell upon them, or listim, bandits. So now in these two cases, she comes and she says the husband died and she was saved. In a minute, she's going to be believed. So therefore, you see from here, now whether it's going to be the tkifah, the nochrim or listim, which means it's like a milchama, it's like all of a sudden there's a war, there are people coming against them, we still say that she's going to be believed. So therefore, we're not going to suspect that maybe she's just, dreaming things or assuming things. So answers the Gemara, Hatam to the Ravidi. No, there we're talking about Ravidi. Tamar Ravidi, Isha, Chlei Zeina Aleha. the woman, right? Her weapons are on her. She doesn't need weaponry. She is the weapon. What is the weapon? The weapon is that when a woman is caught, they're not going to kill her. Why would they kill her if they could use her for food? So therefore, her weaponry is her body. So she doesn't need another weapon. So therefore, the entire purpose, right? That means if Goyim are going to come and they're going to grab them, or Listim, maybe they kill them. Yeah, they can kill them. They won't kill the woman. Because the woman, they want to use them for food. So they won't kill them. Okay? So therefore, that's what he says over here. So since they keep them for snoot, so therefore this is a proof that really they would kill the husband. They're not going to kill the woman. How there was a person that at the end of his wedding, all of a sudden there was a fire that went up on the chuppah. So imagine, wedding hall, right? Nowadays we do it in halls, but they had it in the Beta chuppah. At the end, right? So the wife comes and she's calling, Chazu Gavrai, Chazu Gavrai. Look, people, the husband's burning, right? And he's there's a wedding, right? And he's getting burned to the wedding. Atu they came. Chazu Gavra Charocha Dishti Upista Diana Deshad. They saw, right, that there was a body, but it was completely charcoal, it was completely burnt, right? And they had a yad, right, which is beside it, which is also burnt. So what happened was, so they saw a gupat adam, right? And then they also saw pisat yad, chatucha, it was cut. So what do they do with that? Yeah? So meaning they didn't have a siman for the hand. So it says the Gemara, Hainu Yishnu Alenu Bait, or Yishnu Alenu Me'ara. So he says this is like Yishnu Alenu Bait or Me'ara. So Amar Rav says, Dami, can you compare both cases? Hatam there, look, she never said come and see. And furthermore, in the case of the fire, or in the case of the cave, we didn't have any evidence anybody was even there, because we didn't find anything, right? We didn't find a body. Here, we for sure know that there was a body that was completely burnt, right? And there was a hand beside it, and it's probably mashkin. The hand did not come from the body, because if you said that you have a body, then you have a hand. It wasn't that the hand came from the body. It's mashkin was probably someone else, right? So he comes and he says, there's two differences in our case, in the case of the fire, right? Whether it's in the cave or the house. Right? However, the Rochia Barav is going to tell you that this body that is there, I can say really it was somebody else that came in to save him, right? And he got burnt by the fire. What about the hand? The Nura Italia, right? So therefore, what happened is that basically he was on the hand and he cut it off in order that he should run away. So all of a sudden now, because of the embarrassment, that now he's a balmum. Basically, the hand started catching on fire. He couldn't stop it whatsoever. So what did he do? He basically cut off his hand in order that he should be able to run away. Now, what happens is, all of a sudden now he's got a move. He's got a blemish. But he's going to come out now without a hand. He's embarrassed. So what did he do? Just took off. He took off. He doesn't want to stay in the same place anymore. It's an embarrassment. Everyone's going to see him with a missing hand. So he took off. Yeah, that's what the Rabbi, but Avi is going to come and is going to tell him. Thank you. So we're asking the following question. What happens if a witness comes and he testified that the husband died in war? Do we permit the woman to get remarried or not? The reason why is it says there's something that's going to become revealed. What does that mean? Anything which is going to become revealed. We say that a person will be believed. It's going to be why. So he's not going to be shakir. Meaning like this, nobody will come. For example, can somebody now come and say, listen, there's an elephant on 95th Street, right? You would believe them. Why do you believe them? This doesn't make sense, right? What? You're going to lie? all we need to do is just walk out the door and see that there's no elephant. The guy's a shakran. And for the rest of his life, it's going to be called a shakran. So obviously, why would a person lie? So we're not going to suspect that people are going to lie. That's called the milta davide legluye. Something which is milta is a thing, which is in the future is going to come out, that is going to become revealed. So people are not going to lie, because then it gives them the bad name, and there's no purpose for it. Like, what's the entire... So Hachanam is so here. He's not going to lie. Or Dilma maybe. Tama the reason why the Hechal one witness is going to be believed, it shouldn't be because the woman herself comes and she's going to be bedeket very, very, very well, which means she's going to make sure that it's true, right? Why? Because if it's not going to be true, what's going to happen? You have a big problem. If it's not going to be true, right? She's going to lose out on everything. She loses the ketubah from both husbands. Children become unzerim from the second husband. She's not allowed to get married, to stay married to both husbands. She's got a lot of what to lose. So Isha Daika Witzava. Here, over here, no Daika Witzava. There's nothing that the Isha Daika Witzava. Why? She's not checking Hindi. And so therefore, what's halacha? So Amar Rabbi Bachama says Rabbi Tashema, we're going to bring a proof. Amar Rabbi Akiva says Rabbi Akiva. Kishiarati leNarda. When I went down from Eretz Yisrael to Narda, remember the Babel is in the is in the depths. Right? Eretz Yisrael is higher. So therefore, when I went down to Narda, right, which is in Babel, le'abed et hashana, to make an ibur shana, which means to make a leap year. Matzati Nechemia ish bet li. I found Nechemia ish bet li. Amali, and he says, Shamati shem masin et isha be'eretz Yisrael pi yad echad. Right? I heard that in Eretz Yisrael, right, they do not get married a woman, right, al pi yad echad. And if one witness comes and says the husband died, they don't get married to the woman off. So he says, except for Rabbi Yudah ben Baba, that he was a chacham, the only one in Eretz Yisrael, that he would. So I told him, right? I told him, yes, all the rabbis, they argue on Yudah ben Baba. So Amarli, he comes and he tells me, Emor lahem b'shmi, go tell Eretz Yisrael in my name. Atem yodim shamdina azdo meshubeshet b'yasot. He says, go tell them in my name that in Babel, right? Not in Rome. Yeah? In Babel, they're full of yasot. What does that mean? There's always bandits, right? And people that they're, they come. It's always just sakana. Yeah, they're always it's mamash mesukan, right? All over the place. It's always a danger. And this is what I received from Rabbi Gamliel Zaken. They are going to get a woman married. So, no, in Babel, right? Why? Because it was Mesukah, it was always dangerous. There's people all over the place, right? So, what does that mean? Says the Gemara, isn't it that even though it's Meshubesh, still, right? We see from here, it's like at the end of the day, Milchama is even better, I would say, than Babel. Basically, it was no law in the order, right? It was in the senses of it. Rabbi says, if so, if you're going to tell me that Nehemiah Ishbetli mentioned that his Medina, that Babel, was full of all these, bandits and everything, in order to learn that Echad is going to be believed in during the time of Milchama, Maishna Medina Zo. Why did it say this Medina? Any place where you're going to have the wild west. Yeah, it should be the same halakha. It should be the same name. But rather, Rabbi says, Hachi Kama. This is what it means to say. You guys know that this Medina is full of Giyasot. And I can't even leave my house in order to come in front of the rabbis and to testify what I heard. And therefore, right, I'm making it in front of Rabbi Akiva, which means, right, that what he's trying to say is that I have a tradition from Rabbi Gamliel that they do this. And it's not only just Yudah ben Baba. It's mamash. This is you have a sonnet, right? That is what you have it. And it's not only just in this, it's any place. Okay? Fine. So Tashema, we're going to try to bring a proof. Maaseh b'shnei talmidei chachamim shayu ba'im im Abba Yosef ben Simai b'sfina. There was a story of two talmidei chachamim that they came in front, that they were coming with Rabbi Yosef and Simai in a boat. The boat sunk. They see Rabbi Mishoten Pinashim. So here, Rabbi married off their wives through other women that saw the sinking. So now here, women are the ones that are testifying, right? And they didn't actually see the bodies. Meaning it's not that the bodies came up, they saw the bodies. They just saw the sinking, and they testified. So says the Gemara, "Ba'mayim is milchama dam." Water, right? The meaning, like, death in the water is like milchama. So maybe we could say that she thinks that he died, and really he didn't die. Benashim afilu mea kedechad dam. And women, even if you have 100 women, 100 women is the same as like one head. There's no difference. The Ketanian still we learned. He see that he actually got them married. So you see from here that he actually married them off. So says the Gemara, do you think that that's logical? Mine shen and sofi. Water, there's no sof to water. Mine shen and sof, and water that has no sof, ishto asura, even if you have two edik shenim, right? The wife is going to be prohibited, right? Why? Because since they don't have a sof, you can never actually see the end result. So if you don't see the end result, maybe they met, he came up further along, right? All of a sudden, further along the river, or whatever it was, right? Or not the sea or whatever, maybe she actually came up alive. Elmaleh, what are we dealing with? The Amri that they said, Asiknu Kaman, right? They brought up the gufot in front of us. Okay? Brought up the bodies. 115b. The Chazinu La'altan, right? And we saw, that means we were still able to recognize the bodies. The Ka'amli Simanim, and we even have the Simanim also. The Lo Alayim Samchinan Ela Simanim. We're not going to be somech on the women. We're being somech on the Simanim, which they saw. Okay? So here it says, that means they had like different proof. There was a person that he put Zadeh Shum Shum. Yeah, so he put by him some seeds, right, by his friend to watch over them in front of witnesses. Elmaleh, so now he comes and he says, give me my Shum Shumim. Elmaleh, he tells him, Shekaltinu, what are you talking about? You already took them. You asking me again? You already took them. So he says, says, 1 second. This is the amount. Right? And they're still by you. What are you talking about? I have it by you. Right? He comes and he says, I gave them a certain amount. And they're still in the barrel by you. So what are you talking about? Go check. Elmaleh says, so what are you talking about? You took yours, and these that are here are mine. These are another ones. So Savar Rav Chasta Lemein. So Chasta comes and he thought to say, what's halacha in this case? So he says, right? These are the two Talmidei Chachamim that were in the boat, right, which sunk. And Rav said that the bodies, right, that came out of the water are the ones that fell into them. Why? Al pi simanim that the women gave. We don't say we don't say these ones went away and these are another two bodies. So you see from here that we do believe because the simanim are already enough. So to hear the fact that he gave simanim of how many were they and where they are, so that's a proof that he should still get it. So Elmaleh argues and he says, what are you talking about? Midami, can you compare both cases? Hatam kamre simanim there, they gave over simanim uvakim. They gave over proofs that these were the bodies of these two people. Haka, in the case of the Shum Shamim, what simanim are they? Right? What siman are they? Say what? You got seeds. What siman can you put on seeds over? He says, 1 second. But he told him how many seeds are there. Should say you made a cheshbon, right? How many can be found in a chavit, and he gave them. He comes and he says, listen, how much can come in this cup? I say, I don't know, 500 seeds. Just say you give a cheshbon, right? That's it. It's not the bemet, it's his. So Elmaleh more kashisha berav chasta. The Rav Ashi says more kashisha in the Karamim chasta to Rav Ashi. Umicha Shinan Shema Pinan. Do we really think, right, that he took it out and he put other ones there, even when you have a siman which is like that? But now we learned in the Mishnah Masechet. Matzah kli v'katuv alav kof. Imagine right now, right, you found a utensil, and it's written on the utensil the letter kof. So what is it? Korban. Yeah. So whatever's in the utensil has to go for a korban. Mem, it's written the letter mem. Masecheni. Dalet, it's written the letter dalet. Dimua. Dimua means it's a ta'arovet, it's a mixture of chulin and truma. Tet, if there's a letter tet, so it's tevel, untithed produce. Tav, if the letter tav is written on it. Truma, shebeshat sakana, right? Because during the time of sakana, that means basically we weren't able to keep the mitzvot. Hayu kotfin tav tachat truma. Kof, they used to make simanim in order to remember, right, what it was. Meaning people couldn't just come and just, so they started making simanim. So it's for truma, in order to maaser mem. That's what they started doing in order to. So therefore, so to hear the ziresh mashot, the shumshamim, right? These ziresh shumshamim, we should say that the zraim which are found inside the chavit, right, are the zraim which were from the beginning, and we're not going to suspect, right, that really Be'emet he took them out and they switched them. Okay, why? Because over here, what are we trying to say, right? Okay, here he's saying that it's still not 100% certain. We should still suspect also that they weren't switched, but that's what he's trying to say over here. Right? Because if you have a siman, for example, let's say you have a top, why don't we say that it's not truma? Because maybe before it was truma, and then you emptied it and you put a new one. You'd rather not. The second you found it, that's it. Right? That's a good siman. So same thing with the simanim on the shumshimim. So Elmaleh Ravashi says to Ravashi, Lo chayshin and shema pina. Are you going to tell me we're not going to suspect maybe you switched them? Let's see the same over there. Rabbi Oziel says even if you found the chavit and it's written on a truma furash or korban, it's still chulin. Shani Omer Mazano says shtakad avem letruma. The yesterday was full of truma upina and you already switched it. Now it's 100% chulin. So from the same night, I'm going to come and I'm going to give you the opposite proof. Yeah. So he says, Ella, Echule alma chayshinan. Shema pinan. Really, Be'emet, everyone suspects that really Be'emet you did come and you how do you call it? You emptied it out. Again, here when there's machlok between them, more savari nita de pinao mechpara v'kafan. He would have said that if he wasn't Be'emet going to be mefaneh the perot of the truma and put chulin, so there he would actually come and take out the letter from the kli. So the fact that he left the letter in the kli, it shows that it's still the same truma. Right? It's a kli for that, or if not, you would have taken it off. The Hidach, another one says, no, he forgot to do so. Inami or he left the letter b'chavana in order to watch it from the perot chulin, in order that way people think that it's kodesh. Right? Resh galuta barach teder of the vayt. So it says over here, Yitzchak Resh Galuta, right? Very interesting. It says over here that the Resh Galuta was Rosh HaGolah, obviously, but he came from Bet David. Yeah. So he comes and he says, so Yitzchak Resh Galuta, he was Bar Achte, he was the nephew of Rabbi. He was coming from Cortava. Interesting that this is Cordova, right? To Spania, Spain, so it's probably is. Let me see, 28. And check Cordova to Spania. Okay. Yeah, it says here in the footnote. It could be maybe it says maybe there are two places in Malfuba there, or maybe there's different places like Cordova and Sfarad. It does bring it down here. So he says over here. So what happened? They sent from over there. So they went and they said that so they sent from there that he passed away. So do we suspect to two Yitzchaks or not? That means basically, right? Do we suspect that there's two different people with the same name or not? So Abaye says Chashina. We're going to suspect there is, and therefore the wife obviously cannot get married. Rabbi says no, we're not going to suspect, and therefore the wife is going to be permitted to get married. So Abaye says, how do we know this? There was a get that was found in Narda. And it's written Betzal Klonia Mata. So to do with beside the city of Klonia is the name of the city. Right? It says this is inside Narda. So this is in the so he says it's written Betzal Klonia Mata. Anna Androlai or Androlinai is the name of the person in Narda. So he went into divorce wife. Right now, the wife of the person, the only one that was known for this thing, said she received a death from her husband. Right? So she finds that she wants it in order that she can get married again. So the father of Shmuel came and he said to Rabbi Yudanasi, Shalachnei, he said, check the entire Narda if there's another person that has his name Androlinai. Okay, so you can't find anybody else with that name, so then you can give it back to the wife, and then she's going to be permitted to go and to get married. So you see from here, same thing. Check the entire Cordova, right? If there's only one Resh Yitzchak Resh Kaluta, so then it's going to be okay. If not, then there's a problem. But Rav Amar said, no, he should check the entire world, right? Because there it was written Androlim in Arda, and you only have to check in Androlinai. Right? Sorry, in Narda, right? With a person that his name is Androlinai. Because of the kavod of the father of Shmuel, he went and checked in Narda in order that it shouldn't say that kilu that he's swearing, he's asking something that he doesn't need to ask. You understand? That means really, we should suspect that there's another Androlinai in Narda. We don't have to suspect it, right? And therefore, you just tell them go check it. Okay, so Amar Rava comes and says, so after we pushed off the proof of Abaye, he brings another raya. Amar Rava says, how do I know that we're not going to suspect the two Yitzchaks? There were two different documents that came out in Mechuzah, right? This is in the city of Mechuzah, which again, there's a debt document. And it's written, Chavai bar Nanai. So these are the names. Nanai bar Chavai in another one. So one of them had Chavai bar Nanai. Another one had Nanai bar Chavai. So he went and collected money from it. There's a lot of them there. Right? And still, he didn't suspect that maybe Bemet was like the other people there. Right? So you see from here that we're not going to suspect to another person with the same name. Abaye, but according to Abaye, right? What are we going to suspect it? Even if it's going to be because of the document that fell, so he's going to be very, very careful about it. Right? What does that mean? He's going to be careful, meaning that person has shtarful. He's very cautious. He doesn't want he's going to lose that document. Somebody owes me a lot of money. I'm going to be very careful with this document because I don't want to lose it. It's going to be a pikadon. Once again, since people have the same name, I'm not going to give a person a pikadon. Right? I'm not going to give you a pikadon if there's another person with the same exact name. So my mark, what did you say? Maybe you give it to him with the otiyot. So he says also with this. Maybe by meant give it to him with otiyot nikno b'mistira. What does that mean? Alideh mistirat ashtar, the fact that you gave him the document that you acquired it, right? So it says. So now we're going to say that by meant, right? We are going to suspect to another person with the same name, but here there's no kamina, right? In this suspicion. So that's why he went and he actually took the the document. Okay, and then you have the continue how Gita Tishtak.